morning. It's August 1st. Can you believe that? Wow. July just went zing right by. Well, the work must continue. So let's get into it, guys. It is Saturday morning. It's early. It's probably just around 6 a.m., a little after 6 a.m. As you can see, the sun's just starting to come up. And we need to feed the ladies today. So we're going to mix up some goodies here, and I want to kind of bring you guys through this little adventure of feeding the plants. And I brought out some of my tools, not all of them, but enough to do what we need to do today. So let's kind of get into some of the things. First off, I filled up this barrel yesterday. This is 22 gallons. This is food grade. It was a brand new shipping container. Basically, it's a food grade. They had desiccants in it. I cleaned it out. It's nice, beautiful, perfect. It also comes with a lid, so I got two containers. This one here to my left, this is a 29-gallon tank, so I'm going to be brewing up a tea in that. I'll show you that in a moment. This one was filled yesterday. The reason I filled it yesterday was because the water that comes out of the hose, this is municipal water, so this is town water, not well water, and it's going to come out and it's going to be a little bit chilly. So I let it sit in this barrel overnight so that it can acclimate to the air temperature. And that's important, that you don't want to shock the roots with a really cold water and you're like, hey, just water it. Well, you try and bathe in that. It's a little bit cold for you, that's right. So let it acclimate to the atmosphere. Like if it's an indoor grow, I do the same thing. I fill up the barrels the day before, let it get to the same temperature as the room that I'm going to feed them in. It works beautiful that way. Now also I have a hose end filter here. This particular filter is squeezing out all the impurities that's in the water, and that's important. Number one, chlorines and chloramines. They sound similar, but one's a synthetic and one is a gas that they inject into the water system to kill the bacteria, the E. coli that's in the pipes or potentially in the pipes. Now, we don't want to be pouring pool water, I like to call it, onto my goodies. That means my living organisms that I'm about to add into this, which you're going to find very beneficial, because I like to describe them as workers on a job site. If you have lots of workers on a job site, the job gets done more efficiently and effectively. So we're going to add more fresh workers into the job site. The job site, that's right, is the bags. That's where the soil is, the substrates. In this case here, this is all predominantly soils. So these are good quality soils that I've added. And now we've done top dressing, so we've added some organic matter to the tops. That's composting now and becoming available for the plant. The plants are looking nice and healthy, happy. We'll go take a deeper look at those in just a moment. But this filter is squeezing out the impurities, so I have good quality clean water at the hose end. You can see here, I've got an attachment where I can change the different angles or the type of spray I want to do. But for the most part, I'm going to leave it on the shower effect. I like that, it comes out nice. Now, we've got our water, let's get into it. Let's talk about the things we need to mix. First off, a pH pen. pH pen, you got to make an investment in a pH pen, and they start somewhere in the $20-ish, $29 range. This is more of your higher end. This is a Blue Labs. This is at the higher price range. I've had several of these, but I've had other pH pens that work fine. The key is to take care of them and to also calibrate them, because they're a measuring device. Just like any measuring device, you want to make sure it's accurate, right? So first off, the Blue Labs pen, I'm a fan, love it, works great for me, but there's others, like I said, on the market. But the pen is a tool that's going to allow you to measure the pH. pH stands for potential of hydrogen. It's a scale of 0 to 14. 7 is the neutral point. Anything below 7 is acidic. Anything above it is alkaline. Now, our cannabis plants, tomato plants, and many plants for that matter, like a more acidic range for absorption of the minerals. Now, if you're between 6.0 and 7.0 on your pH scale, you're in a good place. I like to say, if you were throwing darts at a board, the board is 6 to 7. If you're at least hitting the board, you're not bad, you're pretty good. But I like to win. I know you like to win too, right? So when you're growing in soils, I like to be between 6.2 and 6.5. Now, don't sweat the small stuff. It's not important. But if you can dial it in, once you get comfortable with your adjusters, your pH up and downs, you'll know that it takes so many drops based on the volume you're mixing, if you're doing it frequently, to get it close to that range. 6.2 to 6.5, sweet spot for soil, I like that. But if you're 6.0 to 6.5, you'll be fine. You're hitting the bullseye, baby. So again, this tool is going to help you adjust that. And the reason is because certain elements on the mineral chart that the plant needs to feed, So you've got the NPK ratios, that's the nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. You see that on all your bottles of nutrients. They have a number on it, or your bags of nutrients, they'll have 3 numbers, NPK. This is for your new growers, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. Those are what we call macronutrients, the big ones. But then you also have the micronutrients, the molybdenum, the borons, the magnesiums, the sulfurs. Those are your smaller ones. Now, if you're in the optimal pH range, you have the most benefit of absorption of those so that your plants become healthy and have all the nutrition that they need to grow these beautiful flowers that are coming. This is August. In the next 2 weeks, we're going to see some miraculous changes here. Now, we're going to do a feeding today. We're going to do one last feeding. Probably one more after this, maybe. And really good, cool story behind this. I was chopping it up with another grower. We're having a good, long conversation. Never met the guy before, but we feel like we're long-lost friends. And we're talking the same talk. We have the same passions, growing the sacred plant. And he said, hey, I got these nutrients. I was supposed to meet a guy here, and he never showed up. Pfft, stoner, typical stoner. Don't show up for a freebie? Are you fucking kidding me? These things here, let me check it out. I'm gonna move in close for you guys. This was the Connoisseur pH Perfect line. Maybe you can see the price there. That's right, 24 bucks a bottle. Imagine that. I got like, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bottles at 24 bucks. They're brand new. Holy moly, I love freebie. Free is for me, baby. Thanks, brother. If you see in the video, we're gonna put it to good work. So we're gonna feed the ladies with it. So again, the plants found me and the support found me. The supplies, they find you. Now, some of them I'm gonna have to buy. That's just the way it is. But there is a small investment when you're gonna grow the sacred plant. So tools are important, nutrients, very important. So we're gonna feed it some more grow nutrients today. It's a part A, part B. Now, before we get going into talking about the nutrition and the things we're going to add and the little supplements we're going to do, little cool things that we're going to add in to give us a nice grow. The pH pen is important that you take care of it. Now, a lot of them, not all of them have, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this very well, but inside of here there's a little cup. And you're going to put the potassium chloride in there. This potassium chloride, you can get it at your grocery store. It's just a couple of drops in that little container, and if it's just a cover, put a small amount at the bottom of it. The reason is you're trying to keep the glass head in here. It's got a liquid in it. You're trying to keep it hydrated. So it's important to store it properly like that, and just get in the habit of always putting that in there, and the pen will last you longer. It's taking care of your tools because you paid good money. Now this one, I paid $100 for it, and that's up on the higher end of an expense. Like, holy shit, you gotta reach deep down there and pull out 100. The hundo goes, but the tool is needed so that I can have maximum benefit. All right, so tool is important. Make sure it's balanced. Now, one of the things that I'll do is I'll take some of the pH 7.01, as you can see here, and a shot glass. And I already did it earlier. I put a little bit in here, and I test just to make sure it's measuring at the exact reference solution. So this is a reference solution for calibration. So it's 7.01, and I have the 4.01 because this is a 2-part tester. So you got to do a 4.0 and a 7.0 to make sure it's measuring correctly. So I calibrate this once a month at minimum, but I check it every now and then to make sure it's still measuring accurately, because I don't want to be off by, a couple of points to have a different effect. Now, if I was hydroponic, I definitely want to be spot on. If I'm soil, a little loosey-goosey. It's a little bit forgiving, so don't worry about it. Don't sweat the small stuff there. All right, so I got my reference solution. I've tested my pH pen. It's measuring accurately. And now what we're going to do is we're going to mix up some goodies. Now, all of your grow bottles, and there's 1 parts and 2 parts. This is a 2-part. As you can see, it's a part A and a part B. And the reason they do that is some of the minerals in here and the minerals here don't mix well sitting in the bottles, so they separate them. That's why it's a 2-part. So when you're going to look for nutrients and you're looking on there and you see an A and a B, that means they go together, right? 2 parts. And then some nutrients are just a single part, but this is a 2-part, and some of them are multiple parts. So you get into some of the, I won't mention certain brands, but certain brands you might have 4 or 5 bottles that you'll do, but it's a mix that you're doing that's amazing. It's like a special recipe, right? So A and B, we're gonna mix these in. Now, if you're not sure, the good news is that they'll always have a direction right on the back of how to on this as far as the mixture ratios. So if we look at this, it says shake well before use. Always shake your stuff. If it's organic, give it a little extra shake. because you have separation a lot of times in your organic stuff. So give it a nice little shake. That's done. Now I'm going to say, okay, what do we need? It's 4 milliliters per liter. Whoa, hey, wait a minute, wait. I thought we were talking gallons here. We're in the United States. No, we're talking in liters here. So 4 milliliters per liter. Now, we know I got all these measuring devices here. So these are the big ones. These are awesome. If you don't have one of these, you know, you might want one. You can see it has all the measurements in liters there, and then milliliters. So 4 liters is 4,000 milliliters. Excellent little measuring cup. And this way I know I'm getting an actual gallon, so I can measure exactly how much I'm watering each plant. Nice, that's a measuring vessel there. I have 2 of those. I have a smaller version and then even a little smaller version. So that way I can measure. In this case here, I've calculated it out, and I'm going to do 300, and it could be 352, but it doesn't have to be exact. So call it 350 milliliters. So I'm going to take this vessel because it's going to get me closer to it. Actually, I might even use this one if I'm going to go to 350. Yep, I'm going to use this one. You can see this one has the measurements that we need. And I'm going to go up to the 350 mark, and this is going to be part A. Part B, I got the wrong one. This is also an important fact, is start with the one that's the 1 or the 2 or the A or the B. So A goes in first. Make sure it's lightly shooken, not stirred. It's going to be Bond if you know. So it's lightly shooken. We'll open it up. And because these are brand new, they still, oh, this one had already pulled the seal off. All right, so I'm going to measure this up to 350 or so. Now this is based upon mixing 22 gallons of water. Okay, keep going. All right, there, we're right there at 350, and that's going to go right into the water mix. Oh, wait a minute, before we get started, tap the brakes, Joe baby. I almost forgot a super important one. Glad I caught myself. Sometimes it happens. I'm freestyling, talking to you guys early in the morning on a Saturday, giving you some lessons. By the way, at the store today, I'll be teaching the class. That's right. So we have a class every Saturday from 11 to 1. That's at Matt's Hydro in Webster, Mass. I teach a class there, so if you're in the area or if you're getting this message, Saturday classes, so just check in. Today is going to be the first class of the new series because it's the first day of the month, August 1st. Now, silic acid, we're going to add the monosilic acid, SI28 from Cleantech. This is Dr. Lynn's product. This is a silica that we're going to add into the water first. You always add your silicas first because they don't play with the other kids in the neighborhood. They like to be first into the sandbox, okay? What's the sandbox? That barrel of water. It's 22 gallons, it's clean water, it's filtered water. It's nice and it's at the same temperature as the air. And by the way, the pH pen that I have has a temperature sensor in it, so I can see what my water temps are. If you're watering in the wintertime and it's cold water, you might want to put a little water heater in there. Yeah, it's like the ones they use in fish tanks. They sell them at the grocery stores. You can warm that water up to the optimal temperature so you don't shock your roots. It's important. But we're going to take our trusty little measuring device. You can see this has all the different types of amounts, different types of measurings, whether it's teaspoons, tablespoons, ounces, milliliters, tablespoons, teaspoons, all of them in there. So I like the milliliters. So what we're going to do is, this is a 1/2 milliliter per gallon. So I know I got 22, so we cut that in half. So that is basically 12. No, it's less than that. It's 11. So 11 milliliters I'm going to put into this. So I'm just going to go a little bit over the 10, and I should be fine. Remember, I don't care what it is. I just shake it naturally. It probably doesn't need a shake, but I'm shaking it anyways. Shake it like you own it, and let's get that little seal thing right off there. Okay, and now we're going to take and measure out the silica. So the monosilic acid helps to strengthen the structure of the plant, helps it with mold resistance, bug resistance, thickens the cellular structure, and that's all it takes is just a little bit like that. We're going to pour it in the water. You'll see a little tiny white cloud, and then it disperses pretty quickly. But now I'm going to do is mix it a little bit. So don't forget to put your cap back on. You don't want to spill your goodies, because this stuff is a little bit on the expensive side. Although I was gifted it by Dr. Lynn, which I feel blessed to have met her. She's a microbiologist and makes some incredible products. Now I'm going to take my trusty mixing paddle. All right, it's a shovel. It's a mini shovel. And we're just going to give it a little spin. I want the silic acid to be mixed with the water. After that, you can add all of your nutrients in. All right, so now that's spinning nicely, so we got a little mix going on. And now I'm gonna add in the part A, and this is for the advanced nutrients connoisseur line. It's pH perfect. We'll see about that, because we're gonna test it anyway. So I'm just gonna pour this in and just flush the vessel out like that, and that's spinning nicely. And now we're gonna do the part B. So we've got A, we got B. We know we got a silic acid in there. That helps to strengthen the plant. It helps it with drought resistance, heat resistance, all those sort of things. Very beneficial. So, and it's key to start that early in its life. Okay, we got this top off. Let's pull the little seal. And now we got the seal open. All right, now we said 350. All right, right about 350, we're gonna pour this in. Mix it, and then we're gonna get another spin with the trusty mixing paddle. Let's put the cover on. Always remember to put the cover on. Us stoners will have we'll forget to do that, and then we bump it, and then we tip it over, then we're pissed at somebody else, not ourselves. All right, so let's give it a little mix. Keep that stuff stirring up. Mixing up the little brew. Oh yeah, look at that. I love to see that. The plants are all like, they're going, oh, am I gonna get some of that? Now the sun's just coming up over the horizon, which is awesome. I love being out here early in the morning. All right, so I've got my silica. I got my nutrition in there. I got some food. I'm gonna now add a little extra sweetener. This is honey. Well, it's not honey, it's actually molasses. So this is Mendocino honey, it's called. It's a brand. And so this is gonna have in it, derived from molasses and seaweed extract. Ooh, and it's also got a yucca in it, which is a wetting agent, by the way. It makes water wetter, breaks the water molecule bond. And so I'm gonna shake this up nice. What do we say? We shake everything. Shake it like you own it. When you think you're done, shake it a little more. All right, get into it. Shake it, shake it. Shake it like you own it. All right, so now general applications. Use 1 to 2 teaspoons per gallon of water every 1 to 2 weeks. You can also do a foliar application with this. That's interesting. Use 1 5 milliliter per gallon finished spray solution. That's interesting. Didn't know you could spray that. I'll have to look and do some research on that a little bit more. All right, so but general application, 1 to 2 teaspoons. We're gonna go 2 teaspoons per gallon. So I need about 44 on this. Let's see, this will go to 30, but I know I have a small vessel here. All right, so this little small measuring vessel here will help me. Measuring cup. I call things vessels. But I know that I'm gonna need 40. I'm gonna put just a little bit more. A little more, it's not gonna hurt. It's not gonna be crazy. So I'm gonna put 50 in there. So we'll pour this right up to 50. So this is a sugar source for the microbes, the bacteria, all the life in the soil, the workers on the job site, moving the stuff around. This is the juice, baby. You see the plant loves this stuff. So we're just gonna pour this in the mix. Flush a couple times so it gets out of the, you can see it's thick, it sits in there. But just a few little dunks will help flush it out. All right, so now it's cleared. Put that tool right back where it belongs. All right, so I got some sugar source in there, carbohydrates for the workers on the job site. And by the way, I am gonna add some new workers to the job site using Recharge. I use this once a week. Now, I got turned on to this when it first hit the market, and I was like, ah, man, another product I gotta get. And I don't get endorsements from any of these products. This is for you guys, all right? I'm just sharing what I do. Is it perfect? No. It's just, I'm gonna feed my plants and take care of my plants with what I have for resources and what I can afford for resources. And one of the ones I do afford is the Recharge, because the Recharge, and it's a little bit dirty on the package, but these are all the workers on the job site, all right? So these workers help the plant feed. So you got all the glomuses, you got the bacilluses, you got trichodermas, you got kelp, molasses. It's got a built-in molasses. It says right there, microbe food. You got to feed the little guys. They like to stay colonized. They colonize around the roots. The roots will leak exudates, carbohydrates of their own sugars, to attract the bacteria because it needs some element, and it needs that bacteria and those fungi and that microorganisms to break down organic matter and make it available for the plant to uptake. So that's the relationship when you're dealing with soils. You're actually feeding soil. You're not feeding the plant. The plant will absorb what it needs when it needs it and if it's available. And that's why I want to make sure I have fresh workers on the job site every week. Now also, in addition to that, we've got humic acid, fulvic acid, and amino acids. Those are chelators. Chela stands for claw. This is what Harley Smith taught. It grabs onto the minerals tight enough to bring it to the roots, loose enough to let it uptake. That's what he says, and I believe what he has to say because he's a sharp guy. Now, the chelators, again, are going to help the plant take up more minerals. The silic acid that I added in there from the SI28, that's going to help the plant feed more as well. Also helps to strengthen it. So I'm adding all the beneficials I need. This is a half a teaspoon or 2.5 grams per gallon of water every 7 to 10 days. All right, so I'm going to need to add probably 10 grams. I am going to estimate on this one because I don't have my scale out here this morning, but I'm just going to give it a nice little scoop. All right, just a little scoop here, and I'm just going to sprinkle this on here. And then I'm going to work on mixing this up. It has a tendency to sit on the top of the water, but I'm going to get my trusty mixing paddle, all right, my shovel. I'm going to get, and I love the type of Velcro this has to seal it. They've updated it from the old Ziploc type to this almost like a Velcro. It's really cool. I'm glad they upgraded that closing capability because a lot of times I couldn't close it and then the moisture would get to the powders and make it solidify. You don't want to do that. So make sure you take care of that. Keep it in a cool, dark, dry place. All right, so we've got that. Let's give it a little bit of a mix. You can see this is a process when you're mixing up a brew of different things. It takes a little bit of time, but it's okay. You'll see the results in the next day or two when your plants go like, yeah, thank you for the food. I needed that food because I'm really starting to grow. So I just kind of spin it, keep it going. It's mixing nicely. All right, now we're going to add a couple of more really cool things. All right, Dr. Lynn, these are sample size, by the way. This is called super janitor. Super janitor is a bacteria that creates enzymes. Enzymes are beneficial at the root zone. You can buy enzymes already made in different, there's a couple different products on the market. What was it? I don't recall the names. Hygrozyme and FLS 100, I think it is. I might be saying it wrong. You guys will probably correct me. But those are enzymes themselves. But this stuff makes the enzymes. So Dr. Lynn said, those are good products. But this is the source that makes the enzyme. I'm like, give me the source, baby. So this keeps your root zone nice and clean. It'll take any dead root material and break it down for you and make it available as a carbohydrate. So this keeps your root zone nice and clean and breaks down. So I'm just going to throw one of those in. Now, it'll show you the directions for use right on the side of the package. It's an active bacteria. And let me just see what the measurements are for this one. Active directions for use, shake well. Okay, we did that. Add feeding rate 1 to 2 milliliters per gallon. So if I do 2, that'd be 44. That's probably not enough. 1, that would be 22. Let's see what we got in here. All right, so there's 30 milliliters. So I can do 2 of these, and it smells pungent. Okay, look at that, 60 milliliters in a bottle. That's perfect for what I'm doing. Who knew? It does smell like a sewer, I gotta tell you, but that's the bacteria. It's the good stuff. Sometimes if it smells bad, it's good, as much as we don't like it. It goes into my recycling bin right there. Okay, so I've got the enzyme factory in there. I've got some recharge in there, which is all the new fresh workers coming onto the job site. I'm gonna add another little secret goodie here. This was a freebie. Again, I love free samples. It's called grease. It's an alfalfa extract. Now, if you know about alfalfas, maybe you do, maybe you don't. I'm gonna teach you something I learned from an old grower who just says, hey, use the alfalfa, add it in early in the season as it breaks down. There's an element that comes out of alfalfa. It's called tricantanol. Tricantanol. What is that, Joe? I'm glad you asked. That's a good question. Tricantanol is a PGR, plant growth regulator, but natural, not the bad stuff. Not the old days, the old PGRs where you got rock hard buds. Look at how tight those buds are, man. Oh my God. It helps to beef up your weed, basically. So tricantanol is a PGR, plant growth regulator. So I'm going to add a little of that in, and so this is a concentrate. Let's see what we got for measurements here. Let's see for growth. It's a half a milliliter per gallon. And if I was foliar feeding it, you can foliar feed this too. That's interesting. So you could spray that at 10 milliliters per gallon. So I'm going to need about 10. The good news is it has its own little measuring device right on the side, which is kind of cool. We're just going to poke the little hole into the plastic, the little seal. Okay. So we needed, so I need 10. So there's one. Fill it up a second time. There's two. A little short, just a little extra won't hurt. Sometimes less is more though. Don't get too excited. Certain elements you just do what the measurement says, and then others you're like, yeah, I can go a little bit more. All right, so we're gonna mix this. Now I think, yeah, we've got everything in there that we want. Yep, added everything, added the honeys, got the food, got the silic acid. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna check the pH. So the pH, our trusty pH pen, turn her on. Now I had already checked the calibration just to make sure. I didn't calibrate it, but I just checked to make sure. I'll do that periodically just to make sure it's measuring correctly. And let's see where we're at. Right now it's dropping. We're in the 6s, 6.6, 6.5. And we said between 6.2 and 6.5 for soil is what I like to go for myself. That's kind of like a sweet spot. That's like hitting the bullseye on a dartboard. We're at 6.3 at the moment. Now one of the things I do is I like shake my pH pen back and forth. Sometimes if you just move it a little in the water, you'll get a tight number. Look at this, 6.2, and I don't have to adjust it. Oh shit! Oh yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about. Now this is kind of cool. I can hit a hold button so I can show you guys. All right, so it's on the hold, and you can see 6.2 on hold. So that's hitting the just nuts on. Now, if it wasn't, I have a pH up, which is base, and an acid down. So I could adjust that up and down. If you're using an acid, it's going to drop your pH rapidly. So very little of this, a lot more of this. To bring your pH up, you need about 10 times as much in volume. So the base takes a lot more to bring the pH up, but very little acid to drop it down fast. So be careful, you'll learn. All right, so we've got everything mixed up, ready to go. One of the things I did want to share in this particular video, the next video we do, I'm about to get ready to brew up the Terp Tea by Roots Organic. This is the Bloom formula. So they have the Bloom formula, and then they also have the Bloom Booster, which I'll get that in a few weeks. Probably in about 4 or 5 weeks, I'll pick that one up. But we're gonna brew a tea, and you'll see that in our next video. We're gonna fill this tank up, which is our 29-gallon tank. I broke out my little 2-port air pump that I found in my storage. So everything was packed away. I picked up some new airlines. So the new airline I've got, that's a Floraflex. I like the green. I just happen to like the green. And I picked up a couple of air stones. These are brand new. They're about $2.50 a piece. And once I get power out here, I'll run an extension. I'll fill this up. I'll put the product in, and I'll bubble it. I'll let it bubble for 24 hours. There'll be a little foamy top on this, and we'll water it in. That's going to be the bloom nutrition I want to get into the plant. So that'll be probably in a few days. But for now, we're going to get started by watering these. We're going to use the little vessels here, which is nice. We know we've got our pH just the way we like it, but we've got to get this filled up. The very first one, you're just going to go gentle. And I'm going to go about 4,000. I'm going to go a little bit more. I want to get 1 gallon per plant. There we go, 4,000 liters, which makes a gallon. Oh, look at that. I'm sorry, 4,000 milliliters, 4 liters, my bad. 4,000 milliliters. That's just a little bit more, just pour a little bit out. And there we go, and I'll just show you real quick. Just gonna get over to the first plant, and we're gonna water it in. So now we've just added in all these nice workers. Now it had rained yesterday, so I know the substrate's already wet, which is good. So this passes through really nicely. If it was a little bit dry, like 50%, it would take a lot more to kind of soak through. Now it'll soak right down to the bottom section where a lot of your root growth is. Your newer root growth is going to be down there. So hopefully you got a couple of pointers today, a couple of golden nuggets. I like to say those ones you can spend for a lifetime. And now I've got to go water the plants. You don't need to see that. And I appreciate everybody hanging out, making your comments, sharing your knowledge, sharing your experiences. And hopefully this is a series of growing in the city that helps you on your journey of growing the sacred plant. And as always, may those resins bless your bowl. Peace, happy growing. And don't forget, well, sharing is truly caring. See ya.